so the folkaroonies can hear us.
Okie dokie,
And we are switching over to our beautiful faces.
Well, that's a lie.
That is a complete lie. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 14 of the Midnight Club podcast. Again, as always, we're going to say, how the hell are we still going for this long?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sick of you.
How are you doing today, Ed?
Not too bad, so.
Yeah, not too bad.
Just to hear it. We have Dom saying it's been a while, but he's in.
Well, I'd say it's probably been a week, to be fair, Dom. But
No, I don't think Dom was here last week.
Oh, yeah, he was a traitor to the cause, wasn't he?
Yeah,
shame. Oh Lord, put it back.
Would you like to be the one who explains why there's wrapping paper? Or...
So I was gonna say, did you want to, or should I? Because I'm more than happy.
I'll leave it to you because you've ruined my life.
So part of our interesting week, I'm gonna go out and sort of give explanation for the entire story. There will be a video on my channel coming out about it, the LiquixZombie channel right up above my head there. I don't know when it'll be coming out. It'll be somewhere within the next month. That's the time frame we're looking for videos right now. But so Jesus. When was it? Was it about November time? October, November? That we were recording.
Ooh, I can get you a date.
It would have been late October, early November, I think, 'cause it was getting prepped.
It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
That's what I remember.
Late last year, Ed was thinking of doing a lovely series called Root Wars, which was
technically we did it. If you're a member of my channel, you can see the first episode.
Yeah, you can see some of Root Wars. Anyway, we filmed 3 episodes of Root Wars. It was a best of 3, and
I won. 22nd of October, my friend.
22nd of October, yeah. So Ed won I won the first one, then Ed won the best of 3. And we randomly decided, or I think he decided on the final one, that the punishment for losing, and this was
because it was 1-1. It was 1-1 at the time. I wasn't being a scumbag.
I will put this out. I do kind of think you decided this halfway through the final battle that I was already losing, but maybe not. We'll see.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I've lost the footage, so I can't tell you.
I know. Funny that this is part of the reason of the wrapping paper. Ed decided that there was going to be a punishment or a forfeit, and the forfeit was going to be eating half a lemon with chili sauce, like hot sauce that he has, which is like hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Yeah, like just layered over the top.
It's called the bomb. If anyone's ever heard of it.
Yeah, it was hot. Anyway, I lost the challenge, and I went round his, and at this point we weren't in lockdown. I'd like to point out, and I did just stand in his back garden, like.
Yeah,
so
I didn't even let you through the house. I let you through the back gate.
Yeah, he passed me half a lemon. I had to cut the lemon myself and put the hot sauce on it. Like, not only did he...
and you were a wimp about it.
Not only did he put me through the... You bastard. Not only did he put me through the pain, but he made me, like, prepare my own pain.
Made you dig your own grave.
Yeah, and so he recorded the entirety, obviously, of me eating half... I'd like to say I championed it quite well. The hot sauce wasn't too bad. It was the lemon.
To be fair... You took it very well, but I mean, if you were to do it again, I'd make you have more.
Yeah, the lemon was actually the shitter. I'll be honest. The lemon was absolutely the shitter.
Yeah.
And so we did this whole recording, and he was like, "Yeah, really excited. This is gonna be really funny." But come up to when are we now? We're in May, and that video still has not been released.
Actually, let's go back.
Okay.
That footage disappeared. Honestly, So when I started doing my daily uploads, right? And I was like, right, okay, I need a video. And I was like, oh, I've still got the Root Wars, brilliant. And I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I was like, shit, they're gone. I don't know where they're gone. I don't know how they went, but they're gone.
They are gone. I think you said luckily the footage of me actually devouring the chili and lemon is still there.
Well, luckily that's on my phone. So
yeah. But yeah, so I decided recently I wanted to get my own back. And I say recently, very recently, I was again waiting for lockdown to be sort of over. I messaged Abby and I said, look, I want to get revenge on Ed. And actually, so this all started, I went to our local B&M. And me and Shan were just shopping around. We go in there like once a week and we do a massive shop because B&M's awesome. And I saw it was like £1 And I would say, I've got a roll here. I do have a roll here, but if you just look behind Ed, you'll see some Pokemon wrapping paper. There was a roll of Pokemon wrapping paper 4 meters long for £1, and I picked it up. That's the one. I picked up the roll, and literally in my head I thought, I've got no use for this, but I need Pokemon wrapping paper just for my future.
I mean, let's be honest, that is what B&M is in a nutshell.
Yeah, you don't go in for it on purpose, but you come out with it.
Yeah.
And I I got home and I was like, I know what I want to do here. So I messaged Abby, your other half, your better half, let's say. And I said, look, I need to get payback on Ed for the Root Wars incident. When he goes to work, am I able to pop round with like 4 rolls of Pokemon wrapping paper and just wrap up his setup in the room that he's in? And she said, haha, yeah, that sounds brilliant. So it wasn't so much I'm not sure. It was like, yeah. So
yeah.
Thank you, Abby.
Evil like that.
At least things are all are now wrapped up, said Morgan. Thank you, Morgan.
I saw that, but I purposely ignored it because it was a typical pun.
But yeah, so it was on Monday this week. I went round. Ed went to work. I popped round, and I wrapped up half the room basically. It wasn't. I could have been a lot meaner, but I did wrap up most of your stuff. I did also. I was under strict instructions not to wrap up the laptop because the laptop is kind of on its last legs.
It's beyond on its last legs.
Yeah. So instead, I just sellotaped a piece of paper that had big writing saying "fuck Root Wars" on it with a heart. Yeah, I think he also has it. I'm hoping he does because I do need him to get it framed.
I have it somewhere.
If not,
I kept it.
Can rewrite a poster of "fuck Root Wars." You're welcome, Jack. Anytime. Thank you, Abby. Thank you.
It's somewhere in the mess of my life.
But so I did. Well, I tried to record myself wrapping the room up. It was really awkward because I only had my phone, so you can't really see me wrapping up most of it. But I did do a video afterwards and a couple of pictures of the room.
Why did you not just like to be a dick? Right. So you bought sellotape, right?
Yeah.
Why did you not just sellotape your phone inside the corner of my room and time lapse it or something?
The other thing I could have done, which I realised afterwards, which is what I'm going on to as well, is Abby very nicely said, "I will record Ed's reaction when he gets back." She put an iPad out, watching the room.
I spotted that as soon as I went in. By the way.
And what I'm just now thinking is, why did I not ask to get the iPad set up for me recording the room? I've shithoused this really badly, but there will be a video coming out. Do you
want to see a massive flaw in your entire plan?
Yeah, so yeah.
I come home from work, right? I'm going to turn my camera around. There's no curtains. So I came down my drive, and I can see on my drive when I come in that there was wrapping paper on my cupboard, and I literally got on the drive. I walked in the house, and I went, "Why the fuck's there wrapping paper in my room?" And everybody's like, "No, there's not. And I could see that she was filming. I was like, "You're filming me. There's wrapping paper in my room. What the fuck has he done?" But and then I came upstairs, and there it was.
Yeah. So you then FaceTimed me, and
I told you explicit things.
Yeah, which is also in the reaction video of you walking in the room, which will probably be beeps out of the video. Don't worry. But there will be a video coming out, and also in that video, but something that we have spoken about since, I have thrown down the gauntlet, in which Moore was saying, I understand you probably want to carry this on at some point.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to say it live on air on the Midnight Club podcast, episode 14. Ed, if you want to get your revenge, you're more than welcome to, but you will not.
I'm going to put your cat in the bath with a toaster.
Not my cat. I don't care. It's Shannon's. Go for it.
Wow, fuck you.
Also, if you want to say you're going to put Shannon in the bath with toaster, absolutely fine. But yeah, so I think I've started off a gauntlet, and yeah.
Yeah, probably. You're lucky at the moment. I don't have much energy for that. But do you want to know what else happened this week?
What else happened this week?
I got a bonsai tree.
You did. You
did.
It's kind of been like your second child, doesn't it? Well, third after Dante.
I keep forgetting to give it water, and when I try and give it water out of a pint glass, it runs down the side of the pint glass, which is impossible, and it defies physics.
Well, we were quandering over whether pouring Monster on it might help growth a bit.
Yeah, we were. Oh, may I add, by the way, the reason I don't have lights behind me this week is because somebody wrapped them all, and they're all over the floor.
Yeah, so I did actually wrap his keyboard, monitor, Xbox, capture card, two parts of his
Yeah.
walls, his lights, his chair.
The walls are still wrapped.
Yeah, it looks quite nice actually, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And
that'll probably stay up for like 2 years.
your was it your microphone? Oh, I also did leave you a present.
No, yeah.
I did leave you a very nice present.
Well, yeah, you basically ditched all your common Yu-Gi-Oh cards on me.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I wrapped up a tin with like half of my.
I was really excited when I unwrapped that, and I thought, oh, at least he's bought me like a nice Yu-Gi-Oh tin. He was like, yeah, that's my commons. I was like,
although
you.
I am worried because one of the tins had all my commons and a chunk of rares in, and then the other one just had commons, and I'm worried that I gave you the one with the rares in now. But
I mean, I was also unsure as why you didn't take your Jinzo that was in the room that you were in.
I didn't notice that at all. I'll be honest.
Is that goodbye?
Yeah, I will come and get that at some point. I am still owed a Jinzo.
You're still owed a prank.
Nearly getting run over on my way to work just to find a Jinzo like a millimetre large on my phone screen in your webcam.
I've still got it here for you. But have you ever seen bonsai tree scissors? They're really weird.
I have actually, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with them. The other day I bought myself a Pokemon pack.
Okay.
And I just got a shiny Houndour.
Oh, that's quite cool. That's quite cool.
There's no happy ending to it.
Something else we mentioned in that story, I mean, it might be worth mentioning for a bit from you, is I said about one of the things I didn't wrap, and I left a nice sign on.
My laptop.
Yeah. So, what's the situation with that?
There's a new one in the post.
Yeah.
So I'll come tomorrow or Monday.
Your current laptop, I mean, I would say recently has been fucked. It's been fucked for a while, hasn't it? I mean...
Oh, this one's really bad. Like, Josh from work turned around to me and he's like, oh, can I buy your old laptop? And I was like, listen, I'm being honest, you really don't want it. He's like, oh, I'm sure it's not that bad. What's wrong with it? I was like, but the hinge is broken. The battery doesn't work. Like, you can't take it off charge, it dies.
Yeah.
The charger in the back doesn't quite stay in properly.
Yeah.
It's a dilemma in itself. The day I got it, I went to VG, which the locals will know as the best place in the world.
Yeah. The sausage roll shop.
Amen.
Yeah. And
people used to say they were gross because they were pink, but the taste...
they're so good.
Ooh.
Sausage roll, the bacon selection crisps, and a monster. You couldn't go amiss, could you?
That was the day.
Yeah, that was the ones.
That was the only thing that got me through that. Was
yeah.
The sausage rolls. We'll have to go and we'll go on a day trip and get some.
We did that. What was it we went for? Were we playing football or were we playing Pokemon Go? We weren't in sixth form or anything at that time. We went. I think we were playing football. And we walked back down like the long road behind where school is, and we stopped off at VG. And I can't remember what we'd been doing. It wouldn't have been Pokemon
I did remember
Go.
that.
Yeah, it was a few years ago now, but we were definitely past like being in school and being in sixth form, weren't we?
Yeah, that's strange.
I can't remember why we were.
I wouldn't have ever remembered that if you didn't remind me.
I want to say were we picking up results or something, but we wouldn't have been, would we?
No. Back to the story. I got sidetracked. So, the day I got the laptop, obviously I was really excited because at the time it was really good.
Yeah.
Because when were we in sixth form? I got it in the first year of sixth form. So...
2015. No.
Yeah, and the laptop's like...
2013.
Yeah, and I think the laptop's like 2012.
Yeah.
But it was banging. And I was real happy with it. I went to VG. I bought myself a Monster Ripper.
Oh, he was happy.
Someone had put a pinhole in it.
No way.
And it would water damage the screen.
Oh, I thought you meant the Monster Ripper.
Yeah, no, someone put a pinhole in the Monster Ripper.
And the monster damaged the screen.
Yeah, and it leaked all in my bag, ruined all my work, and it ruined the laptop as well. And then whenever I went to my class, I was like, "Oh, have you got your homework?" And I was like, "Well, I did."
Oh no!
And you're not going to believe me, but a monster exploded in my bag, and I used the laptop as proof. Like, look, I water damaged all my screen.
Yeah.
And then it was left downstairs, and to this day, we still don't know the full story here. But my mum blames my brother, and my brother blames my mum.
It was definitely both of them. Definitely both.
Someone stood on it, and they fucked up all the screen.
It was definitely both of them, or it was your dad, and your dad paid off the other two to blame each other.
Do you know what? I reckon, right? if I show you it, it doesn't actually look that bad. Or is it?
It doesn't. It's only when you
It doesn't
go
look that bad,
anywhere
right?
near touching it that you hear the screams.
Yeah, and it's so loud.
I did have to like touch the screen and move it up a bit to sellotape the thing on, and
Yeah.
I did feel like I felt like I had to fund you £2 a month for a charity that came up on the TV.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, I did feel sorry for it, but it's done you well for a long time.
It's got the graphics cards of GTX 555M, which is it's just dreadful. But back in the day, like I only played TF2,
Yeah.
and it did a job.
Well, that's the thing we said at the moment. Like, neither of us are huge on PC gaming. We just need stuff that we can stream and edit off. So,
Given a choice of what I could play my games on, I would choose PC.
really, I've never
100%.
ever been into PC gaming.
Yeah, but you've never really had a PC.
No, this is the first one. I need a second monitor. That's my problem here. Is I need a second monitor for PC gaming. If I'm going to stream,
got a spare somewhere. In fact, I think I've got 4 spare monitors somewhere.
I might have to have a look about purchasing one of those off you, because all I need is one for my like stream chat to be going while I'm playing.
Oh, okay.
So I don't need anything that's like really high tech. It's just something that like will show my stream playback.
Yeah, we'll sort that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that post.
It does help though to have that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm basically using that laptop now as a computer. But I don't want to use it as that.
There is a million wires hooked up to that thing. Like it's on life support.
It's going to be like that anyway because it's got my HDMI plugged in. It's got my mic. It's got keyboard, mouse, monitor.
To be fair,
occasionally my phone charger.
Mine is like it as well. Currently, my PC has got there's a lot of wires. And
it's just that noise. I can't stand the noise it makes.
Yeah, the noise reminds me of Morgan's PlayStation.
Yeah, it literally is like that. But I used to have that on my PlayStation going. Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
you could literally like if you stood at the bottom of the stage, you'd be like, "Someone got a jet turbine up there."
Oh no.
That's my laptop. But no, I have a new one in the post.
Good. Do you know when that's meant to be arriving? Do you say Monday?
Yeah,
possibly.
Tomorrow or Monday.
Tomorrow Monday.
I'm debating whether to hit the trenches. Ooh.
Debating whether to hit the trenches or attempt FIFA. Ooh.
Love the trenches.
I'm assuming the trenches is Battlefield. Yeah.
What a game.
We played what an hour of Battlefield 5 the other week.
Yeah.
Was it just after the podcast?
It was after the podcast.
It was.
I don't know why we thought that was a good idea.
It's safe to say, I'm goated on the sticks. A lot of it came down to
schedules were messed up.
I think a lot of
Really
that game
bad.
came down to me screaming like "Soldier, help! I'm dying."
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But my sleeping pattern's really bad at the moment.
Yeah.
I go to bed at like 3:30, 4, and then I wake up at like 5, 6, and then I normally wake up at like 10 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But I've been getting like a lot of phone calls recently in the mornings.
Oh no.
No, that's for like job stuff. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I've got. Do you know Kev?
Yes. Yeah.
I've been speaking to him because he's been sort of like helping me get into that sort of job that he does, and he rings me all the time. And I'm like, mate, 8 in the morning.
Leave me alone.
He texted me today, and I woke up early because the laptop I wanted, there was literally like a couple left in stock when I went to bed, and I was like, I'm waking up and I'm getting it done.
Yeah.
Which led to my bank ringing me like 30 times today because they basically tried to pay it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go through. So I said, I just like rang my mum and dad. I was like, I'll transfer you the money. Can you order it? And they're like, yeah. So they ordered it, and then they were like, obviously like it came through. We don't get a signal where we live.
Oh no.
And then literally, I got the text like, oh, was this you trying to make this payment? I just thought, I'll just ignore that. Oh my god, the amount of phone calls. And I couldn't be bothered to pick it up because I just didn't want to speak to people.
Oh god.
Wasn't fun. But
no.
we move.
We move.
I still need to watch Naruto. That is on my list.
I watched a film actually literally a couple of hours ago for the first time ever, and you know what? I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Is the Disney's animated Rapunzel?
Oh, okay. I've heard good things about that.
You know what? I've really...
Do you mean Tangled?
Tangled. Sorry, yeah, Tangled.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same film and I haven't missed something.
I've just clocked on, by the way. I love the jumper or top that you're wearing currently.
This.
Yeah.
That is a pajama top.
That's tops here.
It came with some trackies as well, to be fair.
Nice.
It was £6 in Primark, and I saw it.
Primark is the best. Primark is absolutely the best.
Like, I'm not a massive Primark man, because you know what I'm like when it comes to clothing.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Like, I normally wear like £400 jumpers and shit.
Gucci fingerless gloves or something.
I have Gucci trackies.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know why.
No.
I don't even like. I got Gucci shoes that are still in the box. I've never worn them.
I've got Primark shoes, and I wear them every day.
Well, well, it is what it is. It is what it is with clothes. But I saw it and I was like, pajama top, £8. I was like, I'll wear that outside. I don't give a shit.
No.
I tend to wear it to work more than anything. But it's got a hole in it. I think my dog clawed it.
Yeah, your dog does have claws.
Yeah, you found that out the hard way.
Yeah, I don't know if it will show on camera. Like I've got.
Yeah, it does show on camera.
Yeah, it's like properly kind of
Yeah, my dog's not vicious.
Battle
He's
scars.
just he's very happy to see people when they come in the house.
All it was he was jumping up and he wanted to put both his paws on my one hand so that he could like nuzzle that hand.
Yeah, he does that and rest.
He was like, right, that's my hand. So
he's literally Abby goes downstairs before me in the morning to like go sort Oscar's breakfast and shit, and I can't be bothered. And then he's like fine with her. He won't jump up or anything. I come down. And he does not leave 2 feet. He's just like, it's nice to see you. What you doing? But he's okay. He has his moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he is nice.
We had I won't surname her, but she came around on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, you're back.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So Amy came around on Tuesday. I haven't seen her in ages, and she wanted to see me and Abby, so she came around. And she hasn't seen Dante since literally, like, I think it wasn't the day, maybe the day after we got Dante. She came around because we went to Wales, and he was cute, like he was literally a panda. And she came around. She was like, "Oh, he's very hyper, isn't he?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh no.
And she was like, he dribbles a lot, doesn't he? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He likes to use his mouth a lot, doesn't he? Yeah. But I was like, the thing is, it's so frustrating because we went for a walk, and I said, you wait, on the walk, it would give us gold. So we went to the woods down the road. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Through where there's the little pond. Like literally just like next to like by the park.
No. This is in Brent Knoll.
Oh, briefly, very briefly.
Yeah. So we went there. Abby didn't come because Oscar fell asleep. She didn't want to keep him awake. And I said, you wait. So we pulled up, got in the car. Didn't even bother taking the lead for him. I just let him out of the car, and he just went and sat by the gate and waited for us to get out.
Oh.
And then opened the gate, and he just sort of plods along like, yeah. That's it.
Fair enough.
That was it. August commented with a cat emoji in a box.
Nice.
Strange boy.
Nice.
But, we've had. I know we're going on to conspiracy theories a bit later, right? But
yeah.
Abby was on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
She sent me this advert that she got. Very specific advert, this.
Okay.
And it was literally like a child's book.
Oh, actually, this is something we could have actually, because we've been thinking about which ones do we talk about. I think this should be one of them.
Maybe it should. But it came up saying like, Oscar's Daddy's Special Adventure.
What?
Well, that's a bit specific, isn't it?
A bit specific, yeah.
They're watching us.
It is mad, isn't it? How like I understand. I think it's crazy how you can literally Google something that Facebook has specific ads for that.
Yeah.
Let alone like saying something. Like I'll say something to Shannon in my house,
Yeah.
and then the next day
Adverts.
there's adverts for it on Facebook, and I'm thinking, you disgusting, horrible people. Like,
This is really off topic, but for some reason it's made me think of it. Have you watched TGF's latest video where they do the like haunted house thing?
no, I haven't watched their content for a while actually.
So they go to this like world's most haunted pub or whatever. And did I ever send you the picture of the scratches on my bum?
No, you mentioned
sounds
it.
weird.
I think you've mentioned it.
So I think I mentioned it in the podcast once.
Yeah.
So Joe messaged me saying, you need to watch TGF's video. Like, let me know what you think. And I was like, I've seen the clip. There's like a clip, and they react to it. In this box. You do know you give them permission to do that. Yeah, Morgan, I do know that we give them permission to do that, but it's still weird. And yeah. Basically, without do I spoil the video? Yeah, who cares? So at the end, they've done like a Ouija board thing. I don't believe in Ouija board. I find it's really hard to trust people when you do them. Basically, they do it, and it moves to goodbye.
Right.
Bear in mind they're like filming the whole time, and he literally, like, Jay goes proper like white in the face.
Yeah.
And he just turns around and takes his t-shirt off.
Yeah.
And he literally has 3 scratches that are like identical to the ones that I had on my ass.
Whoa.
And he's like literally, I just went really warm and like felt like I had to check it. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I said to Joe, like, that's exactly what I felt, because we were messing about. I came into this room.
Yeah.
And I literally said, like, oh, spinach, get out, I've had enough of you. And like my ass was then like really warm. I was like, what the fuck?
What?
I thought like maybe I've got like a spot on my ass or something. And I checked the mirror and I had like 3. It looked like a cat had done it.
Jesus.
Scratches. And like obviously, you know, you can show what Dante's claws do. Like,
Yeah.
But it's literally like so weird.
What?
And after watching that, I was a bit like, oh no.
Oh, no.
What have I done?
What's happened?
Jackie, no, there's blood everywhere. But no, it was odd. It was odd.
That does sound interesting, yeah. But
I don't know why that made me think of it.
no, but yeah, specify. It's not just Facebook, is it? It's everything, literally.
Well, it's
everything.
cookies, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is just like, it's not even so much a conspiracy, because we know this is a thing. Like it is factual. And companies have been open about it.
Big up cookies.
Big up cookies, but I just think
It is
it's
scary
mad
to
that
think
it's
like your
allowed.
phone is constantly listening for you to drop like a little keyword for it to be like, oh, adverts.
Yeah, I do love though. Have you ever seen the court thing that Mark Zuckerberg went through, where they're trying to talk to him about like ads and stuff, and it's a load of old people, and they're basically like, obviously none of them know or understand what Facebook is and how it works.
Yeah.
And like, have you seen like when they're asking him loads of questions about it, and his answer's like, well, yeah, that's kind of the point of Facebook. It's like that. Like,
No, I've not seen that.
I'll need to link you.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
It is really funny. Like, it's loads of like, it's like a high court order thing, and obviously they've been allowed to record in there about what's going on, and yeah, all like these high court judges are asking him these questions, and they obviously like, they don't know what the questions mean or what the things are they're asking about. And so when they're asking him, he's just getting really confused. He's like, well, yeah, that's what it's like people saying like, are you aware, almost like to the point of like, are you aware that someone random on the internet can find your profile and add you and stuff? He's like, well, yeah, that is partly the point of it. Like, it's not quite like that, but you need to see it. I will link it to you because it's so funny to watch, like him trying to like not be rude answering these things.
I'm a bit like that sometimes at work. Like someone will be like, oh, yeah, like, do you want deep pan or thin crust now? Like, what's the difference? And I'm like, how can I answer this without being a prick?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, one's got a deep pan base and one's got like a thin crust base, and they go, oh yeah. And you're like, oh, God.
I get at the cinema, you get people when they come and they go like, now I know this is an 18 film. And you're like, and on that sentence, you know what's coming. You're like, yeah. And they're like, so that means that everyone has to be 18 or over to watch it? I'm like, yeah. And like, would I be allowed to bring in my 3-year-old son though, because he doesn't really know what's going on? I'm like, is he over 18? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then no. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm just thinking to myself like, or like they'll be like, can I bring in my 3-year-old son? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? And I'm thinking,
because it's an 18.
yeah, it's kind of like, because it's an 18. And they're like, oh, I thought you'd be able to. It's like, no.
I'd say the only ones that you're allowed to bring kids in are parental guidance, I'm afraid.
Use parental guidance and 12As.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm afraid you're going to have to fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's just, yeah, some people just need that bit of extra explaining, don't they? Right.
Bless them. I'm one of them. I'm not. Not at all.
Shannon is.
I'm normally the one who has to do the explaining.
I find myself quite often, like, I feel really bad because I don't mean to be, but I think sometimes I can come off as condescending. But I think, like, when you know about a subject, and, like, it's not, if you're not a very good person at explaining things, because I'm not, I'm terrible at explaining things. So like,
I think I'm quite good. I think I'm quite level-headed.
I think you are. I think I come off as condescending, not because I'm trying to be like, oh, I think this person knows less than I'm going to try and teach them, but I constantly, like, when I'm explaining something, I'm talking about every little thing that's going on in my mind.
You over-explain it.
Try and word it in my own head, which then probably seems like they're going, yeah, well, I know what that is, I know what that is, I just don't know what this bit is. I'm like, I'm not saying this for you, I'm actually saying this for me, to try and figure out what's going on in my mind.
You're like,
so,
do you know what? Just shut up for a minute. Whilst I thought,
let
me talk. Can you be quiet, yeah?
yeah.
My name is Karen. Now talk. If not to you, then to your manager.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad.
No, not yet. But it's coming. It is on its way.
Oh God. Right. I feel like we were talking about doing like an hour of general chat and an hour of conspiracies. I feel like now's a good point to start because we also have any of you guys in chat. If you want us to talk about certain conspiracy theories, we will do. Now the one that we're kind of saying no to is conspiracies about current world affairs of the pandemic
COVID-19.
Just because I know there's been a lot of people having issues with their content getting just destroyed by talking about conspiracies about this, and obviously as much as we would like to talk about it, we do want this to be able to stay up on YouTube and be rewatched and such. So that's the only one we're really not going to talk about too much. However, pretty much everything else is fair game. We've got like...
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of clicking.
Yeah, sorry. We've got like 2 definites that I think we said about talking about. So that at the moment is going to be flat earth theory and moon landing conspiracy.
Yeah.
Which actually I think go hand in hand almost. I think a lot of people link the 2 of those together quite often. Yeah, I think there is some links there. But in chat, if there is any of you that would like us to talk about conspiracy, or I do have Google open so I can quickly look up what a conspiracy is, or if you put in a conspiracy and if we don't know about it, you can put a brief explanation in chat, please do. We would like to be able to talk about it.
So, do you want to start with flat Earth? Because I feel like flat Earth's pretty simple.
Flat Earth's pretty simple. The flat Earth theory is some idiots out there think that the Earth is flat and not a sphere, and it's not. It's a sphere.
Well, there you go. That's that one done.
That's that one done. That was a solid minute.
I understand the base logic of it, right? But at the same time, surely they just think, oh well, if I really want to prove it, I'll just get a boat. I'll just get a boat round. Yeah. What is it years ago? But it's it's a strange one.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons actually that I think moon landing and flat Earth do go hand in hand, is because one of the obvious like things that normal people can say in response is sorry, I'm absolutely going to slate flat Earth here. Like, you know, if you do
I can tell.
If you do believe in flat Earth, you know what? Fair game to you. If that's what your belief is, fair game. But I do not believe it, and you will not be able to convince me.
The only way I'll believe it is if I go into their house and their model globe is 2D.
yeah, yeah. But you know, one of the main arguments that global earthers, let's say, have is, well, we literally have images from space of a sphere.
Yeah,
And
that is very true.
one of the responses is, those images are photoshops, you can't trust NASA. Which is kind of where it goes hand in hand with the moon landing. That's I think that's the more
the moon landing has like different problems, though.
Yeah, we won't go too much onto moon landing because I think we can talk about flat Earth a bit more, like some of the.
I know, but it's just the moon landing is more fishy than flat Earth because
moon landing can be made a bit more 50-50 than flat Earth, I think.
Yeah, I understand like the logic of it because you think if like you've always lived in the same place, like all you would have seen is like that one flat surface sort of thing, but it's not reasonable, is it?
It's a weird one, and there's always the science behind like, well, why do you not feel like you're upside down when you're in a plane when you're apparently on the opposite side of the globe? And it's like gravity, like the forces of gravity and such. Like everything can be scientifically explained. Like, so the biggest and longest flat Earth debate I've ever had was with Shannon, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I hated it. She has this amazing talent of deciding at 3 o'clock in the morning, like that she can't sleep, waking me up, poking me, doing the classic.
I wish Tom was here. There was one time that he was like really tired. He'd been at work. He was staying at ours. I don't think Abby lived here at the time. No, she didn't. And we were in bed because for some reason we shared a bed because we're weird.
Cuddling, you know.
But we topped and tailed, and he was falling asleep, and I was like, it's about 5 a.m. in the morning. Put my head up. I was like, Tommy. He's like, yeah, what? It's like, what did you say your 2 favourite Pokemon are? And he answered that, and I was like, oh yeah. It's like, Tom. Yeah. Like, what would be your like best ever Chelsea team? He was literally like, mate, I want to go to bed, and I was like, I reckon it's got to be Petr Cech and going on it really. I don't even like Chelsea.
But
I'm that guy.
Shannon's like that. Unfortunately, it's about 3 in the morning, and she did the classic poking me a lot. I wake up and she's there like looking at me. I'm like, what do you watch? She goes, oh, are you not asleep? I was like, no, actually I was. She goes, oh, I wasn't. I was like, I can tell actually, funny enough.
Hey,
and she goes, and then she hits me with the line that I now dread is, I saw something on Facebook, and I'm like, here we go. I'm like, oh, what was it? What was it, honey bun? What was it, darling? She was like,
darling.
Darling. She's like, I saw something about flat Earth, and I was like, thinking to myself like, oh, this is fine. This is a 30-second conversation about how stupid it is. And she goes, it kind of made some sense, and I was like, oh. Goes to 10 minutes. Okay, fair enough. And basically, we sat talking about 2 hours, and her response to everything, when like, I don't know every single scientific thing about how the Earth's globe, but she was asking all these things. It was going like, well, it said about planes, and I said like, I don't know it 100%, but I know like the gravitational theory. And she said, why is it that you don't feel like you're upside down? I said, I'm assuming it's the same thing as, I don't know if you know the whole science behind like a fly in a car.
No.
It's about like air pressure and speed within a car. So
yeah, okay, well that makes sense. Yeah.
It's saying like, let's say a car's going 100 miles an hour, and there's a fly outside the car. The fly wouldn't be able to keep up. It can't fly 100 miles an hour.
No.
But if the fly was inside the car, the fly could just hover in spot, and it would still.
Yeah.
And I was saying that, and she goes, yeah, but why? And I'm like, I don't know all the answers. And then she was like. And I was like, but that's just kind of science. That's how it is. How do you know that though? I'm like, well, it's just science. She goes, how do you know science is real? And I'm like, oh my god, okay. But that to me,
science is real.
That to me always seems to be like, that for me sums up half of the flat Earth argument. Is like, you go like, well, this is what science tells us. And it's like, why do you believe in science? It's kind of like, because science has told us every other thing ever. Not everything. Like, some things can't be explained by science, which does make you wonder, like, is science always correct? But And even
Ooh, deep in it.
even scientists will tell you that like you probably will never ever be able to learn every aspect of science, and science is still just a theory, but it's the most provable theory. But it does seem like the flat Earth argument does come down to most of the time just like a yeah, but how? But why? Why do you believe science? Why is it this? Why? Like that, you know. I just.
I mean, it doesn't matter how long you argue with the child. If they say why enough times, you give up.
You will lose, yeah.
Why?
Oh, the other thing with flat Earth that I'll never understand as well is the dome.
The dome.
The dome.
You're gonna have to explain
the
to me.
idea that
I've not looked.
you know, the flat Earth is saying it's like a dinner plate shape.
Yeah.
Well, there's people on top of that that even bigger idiots that believe that there's actually a dome over that, and we can't leave the dome.
Right, so they've watched the Simpsons movie.
Yeah,
come out.
That was literally whenever I heard the dome, all I think about is Springfield getting put in the glass dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bizarre one.
That's a bit more extreme, and I do feel sorry for a lot of flat earthers who have to be like, oh, they're our weird inbred cousin over there, like they're not part of us. But
like you said, if there's a logical, like scientific explanation, then you have to go off of that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like in my eyes, I think I can understand that you can try and argue science and be like, well, science can't always be right, but science and maths, for instance, like if we didn't have science and maths, we wouldn't be flying in airplanes.
No,
like
100% not.
Like science was correct in that aspect and did something that was completely out of human feasibility and feats. Like we wouldn't be able to do that. Whether or not people think we've actually gone into space and to the moon, it's definite that people have been in a space rocket or whatever and being propelled up at like thousands of miles an hour to a certain point. Like,
do I think we could do it now? Yes.
What, go to the moon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
I think like going to the moon now is like fucking like taking a flight from America to Britain. Like,
maybe not quite.
No.
Isn't there a Chinese rocket that's supposed to crash land any day?
I believe so. Yeah, that does ring a bell.
Hopefully it's my house. That'd be fine.
Did you watch, talking about sort of space and stuff, and it says receipt, did you watch the SpaceX launch live thing when it went? You know, Tesla man, what's his name? Elon Musk. His SpaceX.
Did.
It was one of those things that like to watch is actually kind of boring in a way, but just the concept of it I thought was fucking like it was so interesting to watch.
I mean, Elon Musk as a whole is a joke of a man. He sent a car into space.
He's an enigma of a human, isn't he? Like
he really is. But you have to respect the drip, Karen.
Yeah, I will never ever get over when he released the is it the Tesla truck or whatever, and he said about, you know, when he says like, oh, we've got like pretty much bulletproof windows, they can withstand anything, hits it with a hammer and the window smashes.
He just doesn't care.
No. Yeah, that man's pretty insane, isn't he? He's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. But I must, with the whole like flat Earth theory, because that's where we were. Let's backtrack quick.
Yeah, stop the tangent.
I understand the logic of like, oh well, when you're like on the opposite side of the world, why don't you feel upside down? But you never travel upside down, do you? Because as you move, the Earth rotates anyway.
There's that, and there's also it's just your like space isn't like one level plane, and you've got the top of Earth this side and the bottom of Earth.
If we're flat, how does the Earth spin 360 on its axis to like give you a whole day or a whole year, and how does it move around the sun if it's flat?
Yeah.
Maybe what we should do is make sure all the planets are flat.
Yeah.
And we'll be closer to the sun because it'd be like
this is the whole gravity thing. Like a lot of flat earthers don't. I think flat earthers must not believe in gravity, because like the whole point is, so obviously that the whole idea about you're never actually upside down is true, because in the context of space there isn't an up bit of space and a down bit. It just is there.
No.
And so Earth is like, it's your concept of where you are to the gravitational pull of Earth. Oh god, here she is. Elon Musk definitely came to Earth.
Yeah, I saw that.
Zuckerberg did. You know what? I actually agree with that. I think there's two aliens.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise. Yeah. Is there
Oh,
anyone
that
else
is a
we would
question
add
for you.
with them too?
Do you believe in alien?
I believe that there has to be life outside of Earth. Like.
Do you want me to hit you with like one of the deep midnight shower thoughts?
Yeah.
So say there's a fish in the ocean that's never been discovered.
Yeah.
That is technically an alien.
No, it's not.
Because the description of an alien is just something that we don't understand, right?
No.
And that we've like not seen as extraterrestrial.
Hold on.
That's what I'm living by. Now. Oh, we should have spoken about Area 51.
Oh yeah, true. And so, to be fair, alien technically counts belonging to a foreign country. We are aliens to. Yeah.
There you go. So that's what I mean.
Oh,
like, a species we've never seen before is alien to us because we've never seen it.
Jellyfish are definitely aliens.
Jellyfish are broken.
No, not jellyfish. Octopus. Octopus.
Oh, octopuses are just bizarre
mad.
creatures.
They're slowly becoming one of my favourite animals because of how interesting.
Oh, I can't watch them now.
Oh no, they are weird. But
have we seen the video where it goes through like the gap on the boat? It's like that, and it like squeezes through.
Yeah. But no,
as
a genuine answer. I feel like it's impossible for us to not be. Sorry, it's impossible for us to be the only planet that has any life ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, like you can get an alien object in your body if it's an unknown object. Weird example. Yeah.
It's not wrong though. That's what I mean. Like, if we don't understand it, it's alien to us. You'd look at it.
It's something that kind of doesn't belong there. Like nonsense are aliens because they don't belong.
I mean, there must be. If you got to think, we're a tiny Milky Way inside of like an entire galaxy. There must be. I expect we've got like a doppelganger somewhere.
I feel like nothing would ever disappoint me more in life than finding out factually that we are the only like planet of any life ever.
Yeah, it sort of takes away like a lot, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah. Like it is weird. Even if it comes down to like bacterial microorganism life, like there is something out there. I feel like that's fact.
Well, I think every planet has a lifespan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And ours isn't even halfway through yet. I don't think there's a show called Planets. It's got Brian Cox who presents it, and I was watching that.
He's
really
very
good
interesting.
If you get spare time,
He's really interesting. Like he
and is it Venus? Is Venus the one that's to the left of us, like towards the sun?
No, Mercury. Oh God, I should know this.
Mercury. It might have been Venus. It might have been Venus. To be honest with you.
Mars. You've got Mars one side, Saturn the other, I believe.
Let me Google this.
No, you've got Mars and. Is it? Oh no, it is Venus. I think it is Venus. Sorry, yeah.
I think it's Venus. It is Venus.
It is Venus. Sorry, I was getting Venus and Uranus mixed up.
So, Venus, apparently, this is what Mr. Brian Cox has told me. Venus was literally Morgan's star thing is his favourite fact. Well, you put that in there whilst I tell my Venus story. Venus was like we are today. It was like full of water, and most people know it as Eden because it literally was like heaven.
Yeah.
And now it's like hell because I think it got nudged by something. I think it got nudged by like a meteor or something, and it nudged it into the like wrong line, and it just ruined it.
Yeah.
But if that planet had have survived the way we wanted it to survive, people would be looking at it now and being like, "Oh well, we should put humans over there and start life there." Crazy.
He's a very interesting person. He's one of those people I put down as like the perfect teacher. I could listen to him all day. I could listen to him all day. He's like David Attenborough, isn't he?
TBA to type, but I'm Morgan.
He is like David Attenborough. Like you could just listen to him.
Can't watch nature documentaries if they've not got David Attenborough. I find it really hard.
Unless it's Steve Irwin related. I know.
Get out! Why would you drop the name?
I feel like Steve Irwin is one of those alien people because there cannot be someone that nice to have ever lived, like, or that cool.
I'm a chuck deep one out here.
Mm.
And this is also a big money rant, by the way, so be prepped.
Yeah.
I think people who can distance themselves from caring that much about money are always going to be the happiest people, because I think money is mankind's like evilest invention.
Oh yeah. Oh
because like people get stereotyped by it. That's the first thing. Like if you see someone driving a Ferrari, you go, "Oh, he's a posh prick. Look at him. Oh, he's got a Ferrari." If you see someone with no money, you're like, "Oh, they're a skank. They can't afford this," and it's horrible.
Yeah.
I've always said to Abby, and she hates me for saying this, but I literally said I'd be so much happier if I just had a tent, food, water. I'd just go and live wherever I want.
I've always said money and religion are the root of all evil, but they both made that way because of the other.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I mean, religion doesn't bother me as much. I know religion causes a lot of war, but there's always more to it, like you say.
When religion gets mixed with things like money, like and land and money, and one being better than the other and stuff like but
the Americans went to Iraq to invade because they wanted oil for money.
Yeah.
People die for money. People get life insurance and they put a number on your life.
Yeah.
You are worth like $100,000.
Well, pretty much all issues between Western culture and the Middle East is because of the Crusades. Right. We went there because they had all the best resources.
Yeah, I hate it. I honestly hate it.
The state that a lot of African nations are in now are because how black slavery happened was because the African nations had all the best minerals and resources. But
Shanna's popped a question.
I've just seen, and that's actually a really good one.
We'll get into that one.
Slavery basically happened because the African nations had all of the best resources, and we just overpowered them for them and decided we were better.
Have you listened to Dave's song Black?
No.
You want to listen to that? He performed it at the Brits, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
And it's literally all about how the world's racist, and he's like, you're saying that racism is gone, but there's so many places still in Africa who are named after what they traded in, like the Coast of Ivory and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah.
But it's a really good song.
Yeah.
I'll link you that after.
Yeah, Shannon's put in a banger there, hasn't she?
She has. I'm just on this rant about money.
Oh yeah, money's just you look.
I've come from quite a privileged family. I'd say we're very middle class. I've never struggled for money. Really.
I'd always say the same about my upbringing as well.
But I don't like it. I hate it.
Yeah.
If I could go and live in a forest and survive, I would do it 100%.
Yeah, it is.
But that isn't how humans are now.
Me and Shannon were saying the other day, it's weird how and I guess it gets linked to money, but you can't just decide I want to live on a field. You can't do that.
No.
Everything's owned by someone, and you have to you can't. Sorry. That is terrible. That is terrible for me. You can't just decide. Actually, I'm gonna jump in a little boat and wiggle my way over to another piece of land on the other side of a piece of water because it's owned by someone. You're not allowed there. You have to have a legal document to let you go from one piece of dirt over some water to another piece of dirt.
It's borderline ridiculous, isn't it? But we're not. People always say I feel sorry for chickens. They're bred, they're kept in a coop, and then they get killed. That is literally what we are.
Well,
it's chickens.
I think it also comes down to what's the I can't remember the exact phrase, but it's like the pleasure of ignorance or whatever it's called. Where it's basically ignorance is bliss. Sorry, ignorance is bliss.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of is true. The less you know about how things work and how things are, it almost is better because pretty much these days everything you learn.
You've summed up my last 2 weeks. I said to Abby, I would be so much happier if I was stupid.
I feel like these days every new big thing you learn is shit. You don't learn anything that's good anymore.
What were we talking about before the podcast? The pizza ring thing, the pedo rings, and all that.
Yeah.
People sex trafficking children.
Yeah.
Did you see? Is it conspiracy based? There was. It was like a furniture store.
Yeah, the wardrobes.
wardrobes. They
Yeah.
were named after missing children.
They were named after missing
and they
children.
were going for like 100,000 and stuff like
and
that.
it was like they were giving dimensions of the wardrobes, like height and width
Yeah.
and stuff, but they weren't wardrobe dimensions. They were the height and widths of children.
Disgraceful.
It's horrific.
But that goes under people. That like goes under your nose.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known about that if I didn't
No.
see it on the internet, which
No.
is ridiculous to think. And then, who was it? Someone was speaking out about. I know we said we won't go into it. Someone was speaking out about COVID, and then like literally 2 days later they died.
Mm, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fishy.
There's yeah.
I hate it, honestly.
I mean, the biggest conspiracy ever will be governments, like how governments are run. You even hear like a big. I think a big one that. I think that this one would always have to be its own podcast almost in the future, maybe, because it's so huge. Things like the Rothschilds and the Illuminati and such, like, because that again almost comes down to like the root of every conspiracy ever. But like,
I'm gonna be so
for,
depressed after this.
For like 90% of the time, I'm sat there thinking, I don't think there's anything as huge scale as that. And then in terms of like the rest of the time, I'm sat there and thinking, there almost has to be, like. How can governments be run so terribly, but all do almost the exact same thing against each other so badly, but then somehow there's these mega rich people that no matter what happens always benefit from it.
Yeah, that. I just stuff like this I hate.
Yeah.
Like, just because, people say, "Oh, go and do something for yourself." Like if you're not happy working for someone, go and be self-employed. You ain't self-employed. You work for the government.
Yeah.
You pay the tax man. You pay corporation tax. You pay business rates. You pay this, that, the other. And then people are like, "Oh yeah, I work for myself." No, you don't. No one.
Proper self-employment is being off the grid, growing your own food. If you can ever do and the only way to do that is move to a fucking forest in Russia and become non-existent.
Punch trees.
Yeah. Call yourself Steve. Punch trees.
Yeah, pretty much. Minecraft Steve, what bloke. I mean, I hate the whole system. But the thing is, we are monkeys in suits.
Shannon has literally just put a thing that sums up what you're about to say, I think.
Living to work instead of working to live. And I honestly said to Abby the other day, like, I'm happy to be open about this. I really don't enjoy my job at the moment. I hate it.
Yeah.
And I spend only 6 hours a day there. Yeah. But that takes up my entire day. I'm like, fuck, I've got work. I hate it. I don't want to go.
It's not just on your mind when you're there. And every job's like this. It's not just on your mind when you're there. It's on your mind just before. It's on your mind after.
But life isn't made to be enjoyed anymore.
Yeah.
Housing is too expensive for most people.
Yeah.
I mean, not taking this in like a horrible dig way to you and Shannon, but the likelihood of you and Shannon getting the money for a deposit on a house is slim without the departure of a relative.
Yeah.
The likelihood of you and Shannon getting a mortgage gifted to you, slim, because they don't want to give out money.
We had been saving, but that saving meant that we were still living with parents, living at home, and so for us to move out, so obviously we're renting at the moment. At the point we are renting, it's unless, like you said, something happens that puts us into money, the likelihood of us now from this point being able to save to go into a mortgage, no, almost definitely not.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And the other rant I'm getting on, a proper ranty today, and I'm not trying to sound like some woke little 23-year-old who knows everything, but the education system is fucking awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking awful. Like, some of the things you learn will never be practical in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Why have I never been taught how to pay taxes? Why have I never been taught how to manage money? Why is there no, help with, if you do get into debt, how can you get yourself out? How many suicides have happened over money?
Yeah. And the biggest argument people put against that is, it should be the parents teaching. And this is, to me, the same thing as parents should be feeding their kids. Some parents just won't. And some parents can't.
I am going to even take it further than that. Parents should be teaching, but parents have to go to work.
Yep.
Parents have to balance their lives and your life. Parents can't
teach you how to do your taxes because parents are too busy doing their taxes, sorting their taxes out.
If I'm 100% sure if I sat down now and said, "Oh, could you show me how to do my taxes?" they would.
Yeah.
But what about people who don't have parents?
Yeah.
What about people like that parents have never paid taxes? Like, there's people out there. I'm sure there's people out there that have never paid taxes. They've avoided it.
Again, some there's a lot of parents out there who just will outrightly not help their children that way, even if they are around.
Exactly.
They
Don't
won't do it. You can't always live in it's utopia, isn't it? You can't live in utopia, like you can't just constantly dream of living in utopia and then completely destroy yourself in the real world.
No.
Like you can't make laws in a utopia idea and
there's so much
not
with
be
the
realistic.
education system that gets me rattled.
Yeah. Education's a fun one.
It really is. You know, there's so many things that you could teach kids, and I don't agree with exams either.
So one thing I was talking to Emma, she doesn't work at the cinema anymore, but she did, and she's got 4 kids, and she said the one thing that she's kind of pushed is for all of her kids doing like things like GCSEs. She said she the only one she ever pushed them all to do was things like food tech, like home economics, food related.
Yeah.
Now I think stuff like that should during school be constantly continued. Because at the end of the day,
it should be mandatory.
It should be mandatory, like not just through year 7 and 8 or whatever. It should be throughout the whole of your schooling, because
it's vital. Like so many people don't know how to cook, and look at the rise of takeaways in like the past 10 years, and I guarantee you, it will be massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
And you know, again, a lot of people are saying, why aren't the parents doing it? Sometimes the parents aren't cooking themselves; they don't have the time to be cooking themselves.
Some damn nicely, I like that one.
Yeah, I do know that picture. Should I try and find it online? Pop it up on screen.
You can try and find out. But the more we're learning about like other humans, like some people are dyslexic, some people learn things different ways, some people find it hard to learn, and then you're sat down to do a memory test.
Yeah.
How on earth can you expect someone who's got a bad memory to do well in exams? Whereas if you ask them the question on like day-to-day life, they'll probably know the answer.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put someone in like a stressful situation and they need to remember something, that's when a lot of people can't remember things.
No.
If a train's coming towards you, your legs don't tend to go, oh bloody hell, or your brain doesn't think quick enough to go, probably need to move here. Most people will just stand there like a rabbit in headlights to get hit by a train.
Yeah, so I'm just popping on screen. There's the image for anyone wondering what Dom's on about.
What, Dom?
Yeah. But it's the education system's a bit messed up.
Right, should we go into Shannon's pyramid question?
Yeah, that one's an interesting one. And again, I might have to do a bit of googling here for the exact figures, but
there is no fucking way.
It's
unless there has been history erased that we do not know of.
Yeah, there is no way that pyramids were built by people.
No way.
I'm gonna Google this again.
But there's no way it was made by people without machinery. Now, perhaps they had machinery we don't know about.
Yeah.
I was actually speaking to Amy about this on Tuesday. She had an interview. She's done she's gone to uni and she's doing archaeology is the best way of describing it. And she had an interview, and she said that the people looked at her like she was stupid. But she said archaeology is never known. That you cannot know without having a time machine going back and seeing exactly how they've used something or how it's done. You will never actually know. You can use science to get a fairly good understanding.
Yeah.
But you'll never exactly know.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's some deep shit. Deep shit to drop in the car.
I can't find the exact there's the stuff, the maths behind it, isn't there?
Yeah, I think wasn't it something like they'd have to have worked for 5 years, 24 hours a day without a single break to build the pyramids. Crazy. Egypt's always fascinating.
Yeah,
me.
so
I like Egypt.
Each block weighs about 250 tons.
I wonder how many humans it would take to lift 250 tons.
Yeah, and we are talking with everything we've learnt from history, about what they had. And don't get me wrong, the ancient Egyptians were really, really advanced in technology for like their time.
How many did you say?
250 tons. And
250 tons or 250,000 tons?
no, 250 tons per block.
Okay.
And
Let's have a look at
the smallest pyramid at the pyramids of Giza had I think it was 2.2 million blocks. It's made of 2.2 million blocks.
It's not possible.
Yeah,
There's no way it's possible.
It's just not. That's the smallest of the 3 pyramids. Is over 2 million blocks at 250 tons per block.
That's the smallest.
That's the smallest of the 3 of the pyramids of Giza, and it's just like, yeah. Shannon said it, but aliens. Like, do you think they could like? I don't think aliens, but what did the pyramids?
They could have used animals, maybe. Because they were like the people who sort of domesticated animals.
I don't think a chimpanzee's lifting a 250.
Well, no, but if you had like 100 elephants, maybe.
Yeah, but what happens when you get to the top? You think elephants are going to be able to get to the top of a pyramid?
1-0.
They are. And you know what?
Maybe
if
I've got the answer.
If someone is able to outrightly prove that people made the pyramids, and even without outrightly proving, I want to say it. If people made the pyramids, fair fucking play.
Not to mention the inside of them are so clever.
Yes.
So like well done.
Yeah.
Like it is literally a maze.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a tough one, Chief.
Yeah. Made by the Egyptian gods.
Slifer.
Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra came together to make the pyramid.
That is where my brain instantly went when you said Egyptian gods. I'm afraid.
But yeah, the pyramids are insane. And yeah, like we said, if not, I mean, the pyramids are, I think, probably the greatest architectural feat ever.
Yeah, there's something to do with the way they're facing. I can never figure it out.
Oh, yes, I have heard about this. Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Unless we're both thinking of Transformers.
Pyramid facing fact.
We're not both thinking about the second Transformers film, are we? Oh, can I just? I've only just realised Shannon's message did say, "Do you think there could have been something else we aren't thinking of? Giants, witchcraft, flipping Transformers." Taking in mind the Transformers film does actually explain that Transformers kind of built the pyramids.
Oh, apparently bricks that weighed more than an elephant. Apparently they were 50-ton stone blocks.
Oh, okay. Even then, still 50 fucking ton. Like an average car's 1.5 to 2 ton.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'm reading up on this, by the way, just so you know.
It's I'll never understand, like. Hey.
Apparently, the pyramids were once like glittering in reflection.
Oh.
So they were like heavily polished, so that they would like have a glimmer to them.
God, imagine that as a cleaning job. Right, I just need you to.
There you go. The pyramids are precisely aligned to the true north.
Oh.
That's kind of crazy. Like they're literally dead in line with the stars.
Imagine having the cleaning job or someone just going, right, today's job, can you quickly just give Pyramid B a polish, please? Like, yeah, every inch. But, yeah, so the pyramids are a fun one. I think the pyramids are one of those conspiracies, though, that, like, that'll never be explained.
No, there's not enough research that could be done.
Morgan has put 50 ton is nothing for Sealyson. Morgan would have one of them built in a day. I was going to say that I knew the answer, and it was that Sealyson went back in time. Get this lad on Minecraft. He's building those pyramids in about 3 hours. All 3 pyramids. I'm just saying.
It is kind of weird.
Although I'd like to point out, anyone who is watching, we're not getting him on Minecraft. Fuck Minecraft.
I'd love to.
Although Minecraft, and Mojang, if you would like to sponsor the Midnight Club podcast, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, the pyramids, to me, the pyramids are like, I can see you've got them reading eyes. You're reading so hard on the pyramids.
There's a granite, it says coffer, that lies inside one of the main chambers, but it's too big to have been like brought through the passageways that they have.
Right.
So they're either saying either built the pyramid around it, or they must have like, I don't even know. It's weird.
Because the other thing I know a lot of people talk about is the stone that it's made from isn't stone that's from near where the pyramids are. Isn't it from quite far up the Nile? Which meant that they must have...
Yeah.
They reckon they used the Nile to move half of it, which meant they had to basically make boats that could carry 50 tons.
Jesus. And they designed it so that the pyramids have never gone over 20 degrees Celsius inside.
Oh my god. I mean, if it is all true, and it was made by the Egyptians...
Fair play.
Also, the thing I found really interesting is obviously who would you, obviously we know the Egyptians, but who would you say made the pyramids? Like,
I couldn't answer that because it can't be people.
Basically, history has always told us that the pyramids were made by slaves, and it's something like 90% of the people that actually made the pyramids were paid workers or volunteers.
Yeah, I just saw that they were paid workers.
Yeah, paid workers or volunteers, and there weren't actually, like, there was a lot of slaves part of it, but they weren't the majority of workers.
It couldn't have been humans. Apparently it took them 23 years to make a pyramid.
Jesus Christ.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
I say you put Elon Musk on that, that's being made in a year.
Yeah, but with modern technology, there'll come a day where we could 3D print a bloody
pyramid. Yeah, true. It's a big printer.
Yeah, that's the way we're heading, isn't it? It's scary.
Right, should we move on to the next one that we had jotted down, because I find this one very, very interesting.
Moon landing.
Moon landing. I want to know straight out, what is your overall opinion?
Part of me would love to believe it was real.
Yeah.
But everything after it leads me to believe it wasn't real.
There's so many little things that add up. Like, I do think it was real.
You do?
But it's very much a 51% to 49% thing. Like,
well,
there's many...
Here's my most valid argument that I have to give you as to why it isn't real.
Yeah.
So these astronauts have just come back from space. They've come back from the moon. They are literally national heroes. Not even national heroes. They're global heroes.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them does an interview.
Yeah.
You've just gone to the moon. You've become a global hero. You're the only people to ever go to the moon. You come back and you go, pass on the press conference, I think.
Yeah. Now, I think one of the answers to that, somewhat that people have said, is that it was actually contracted that they weren't allowed to, and part of the reason was because America was worried that they'd accidentally give anything away to the Russians as to how they did it. But to me, that becomes a bit null and void, because you showed the entire thing on live television of the ship going up. Like, I don't think astronauts going to give you anything. So there's
you do
that.
know what the space race was about, Morgan said? I don't know.
Yeah. Space race was US.
Oh,
versus...
no, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The other things that all come together, it's little additional things that do just make too much sense. You've got the first one is Neil Armstrong's famous boot image of, like, his boot print on the moon.
Yeah.
The treads of the boot are completely different to the actual boot he was wearing, or would have been wearing. There's the little things that come together, like the fact that, and I think this is a big tell about modern day technology, but I also think this is just stupid, is that the modern day smartphone has more computing power than the computers that put man on the moon. Now, it's not just that itself, but it's the actual computers that apparently put man on the moon really aren't that advanced back then.
No, I'm doing a Google for another point.
Morgan is correct to say that the arms race as well was America wanted to be able to flex that they put man on the moon. And am I right in saying that Stanley Kubrick had been spotted around the NASA Space Center quite often leading up to it? And there was obviously a lot of talk about Kubrick having actually been the person to film the fake moon landing and such, and it looked very much like there was a lot of stuff that linked to his like filming techniques and film making and production.
I've got another counterpoint, right?
Yeah.
So, bear in mind, modern technology, like you said, has come much further than what they had then. You take your camera into a hot room or into a cold room. What's the first thing it does?
Hot room steams up.
Steams up.
Yeah.
Now, the moon's over like minus 100 or positive 100. That's a lot for a camera.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, there wasn't many cameras that were that great back then to handle. How could they make a camera that can like withstand everything that they needed it to withstand?
Yeah. It's
I can't buy it now. If someone said I've been to the moon, and they did a video of it,
yeah,
I'd somewhat believe it.
Well, now I think they have. Wasn't there? Who was it? It wasn't like 10 years ago. Was playing golf on the moon.
There's still people up in space. I know that in the space station.
In the space station, yeah.
But now you could probably like take a blooming smartphone or a GoPro and stick it on your head.
Yeah. Yeah, Dom is right. Kubrick had a lot of conspiracy around his films. Like, Kubrick was like one of the main reasons that
it wasn't an ordinary camera. Yeah, but I don't doubt that. I just don't.
I don't think they were taking on your regular.
No, they're not. They're not
Canon
taking
XL
on their like Logitech webcam. But
shout out Logitech if you'd like to sponsor the podcast. You're more than welcome to.
If you've never been to the moon, it's really hard to judge how a camera's going to react on the moon.
Yeah. I think that's one of the main things is everything seemed too perfect. Like going to the moon on the first time should have gone disastrously wrong, and they should all have been dead.
Yeah. But like Morgan saying, there was an arms race and everyone wanted to be the first people on the moon or whatever. Why wouldn't they fake it if they've got the facilities to?
As I said, I think personally, I do believe they went to the moon. I do actually believe they went to the moon. However, look, this isn't clear cut. To like personally, I don't think this is clear cut. Yeah, they 100% went to the moon. There's no line in there. Like,
yeah,
I even think if it is all true and they went to the moon, there's still half of the facts we know about it are lies, and there are certain things that are being covered up about it. I have half a feeling that the footage we have of them first going on the moon is fake, but they actually did go to the moon. They just tried to reconstruct it.
Maybe.
Things such as that. And that I think that's quite a common conspiracy as well, as people are saying like they did go to the moon, but obviously they wouldn't have been able to record it or anything. They came back, they gave as much of an accurate description as possible.
Yeah.
And someone like Kubrick did then make a reconstruction, and then they put that out and said, oh, here's the footage that we've got, which I think is very, very plausible. It's a really weird one though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like,
I mean,
I think you almost have to feel bad in the way of, if this is absolutely 100% true, man went to the moon, that's what happened, blah blah blah. Like, I don't want to take away the insane human feat of like the people that put man on the moon and the people that went to the moon, because that is incredible. That is probably the greatest human feat ever. Up to that point in history, like nothing will ever be more important in history than that.
The thing is, though, is like we were saying earlier, everything is so government controlled
Yeah.
The answers will never be there.
Mm.
It's like with the whole like who did 9/11 thing. I know, so we won't go too much into that, but that the plane attacks the Pentagon and all the cameras happen to go off for 5 minutes. Never happened before, never happened since. Those 5 minutes, they just happened to all go down.
Yeah.
And then there was the whole like, was it Epstein who got killed in jail? Who got killed in jail?
No, Epstein hung himself in jail, and it just happened to be when there were new guards on and the cameras weren't showing, and
yeah. And didn't they send someone down to his cell that was like known murderer?
Yes.
Convenient, but the cameras go off.
Yeah.
I think that's what I find the hardest to believe about it. The government can, like we were saying about like the cookies and stuff, they can control what they show you. They can control what they don't want you to see. The problem is South Korea, or is it North Korea? I think it's North Korea.
North Korea is the like police state. Yeah.
Like they can't use Google.
Yeah.
Because the government doesn't want them to.
We are literally, a lot of people say like, oh, it's impossible for a government to completely control your life. We are literally looking at a nation there that they have no clue what's going on in the outside world. None of them know at all. Like,
crazy. But then that could happen to us.
Yeah, that could be happening to us right now. We're just not realising.
It's fucked.
And the other one that I always find really interesting to talk about is Jack the Ripper. The fact that it's almost guaranteed, and it's pretty much confirmed at this point by the police, that the police at the time know exactly who was Jack the Ripper. Yeah. It is in the Scotland Yard police files. The name is down, it is put there, but it was never ever put out to the public for a reason. Now the main reason put out was pretty much at the time because people are pretty sure it's an originally Polish citizen that moved to England, and because of like public affairs towards Polish people at the time, like it just would have caused outrage, and I mean it did anyway, even without being confirmed. But there's situations like that where it's probably the reason why. But I mean the Scotland Yard have basically confirmed it themselves that we know who Jack the Ripper is. Like it was confirmed at the time, but we're just not putting it out to public eye and never will. And things like that, I think, is insane.
Do you think the Americans actually killed Bin Laden?
This is another hard one.
Yeah, I'm full of them.
Full
of hard ones, what an head.
Do you mean in general that they killed Bin Laden, or do you think they actually killed Bin Laden on that footage that we've all seen and in that moment?
I mean, do you think they've killed him at all?
I think they did kill him. I do wonder whether it was that exact moment that we all know.
There's another conspiracy theory there, isn't there? Because a lot of people think that Bush was part of 9/11, and they just used Bin Laden as like your stereotypical man to go and headhunt.
Well, wasn't there a major a backlash about Iron Man 3? I don't know if you've seen it.
I did see Iron Man 3.
There's obviously the whole storyline in there. You've got the Mandarin, and he's like this head of the terrorist organisation, and it turns out he's actually just a paid actor pretending to be a terrorist, and it was someone else within the nation. And there was a big backlash because a lot of people said, "Ooh, hold on a second. This seems very close to some people's thoughts about who Bin Laden is and how the Americans act."
But it's so plausible.
Yeah, it is, and like you said, it kind of covers exactly from 9/11 to Bin Laden himself. You need a villain. If you want to keep getting money to your military, you need a villain.
There's too many strings attached in like that sort of way to make me think, well, why wouldn't they just have someone to be the villain of it all? Then they turn around and say, "Oh, listen, you're dead."
Yeah.
Shave off his beard, shave off his head. No one would recognise him.
And Bin Laden being killed by the American soldiers happened at a time where the big conspiracy, or one of the big conspiracies behind why 9/11 would have been an inside job, was America needed a reason to invade another country, and they needed a reason to have a bigger military. You need this. Now the flip happened, or the flip has been the major thing for, is Bin Laden actually real? in that
Yeah.
term is that Americans realised that actually maybe there's some really dodgy shit going on. Maybe, like, you know, are we prolonging this to keep doing all this bad shit? Oh look, actually we've killed Bin Laden, now everything's solved. Now are people going to be thinking, oh actually no, look, he was real. They did do it. Perfect, everything's solved, and the American government have now fixed the problem, and we were wrong. Yeah.
It's
my brain's starting to melt up. Yeah, no, it's still, mate.
it's you. This is the problem. This is what this goes all back to the money and everything, like the control that's had. We'll never know. We're just two people that aren't important. We are just people. We're ants. We're ants that'll work.
Yeah.
And as soon as we stop working, they send someone to step on you.
Yeah. We're not doing this conspiracy stream either. By the way, I just want to point out we're not doing this conspiracy stream. Acting like we're the people that are solving everything and we know best.
God.
It's not. We just want to discuss it.
No idea.
I think it's really interesting. I think it's something that's important to discuss.
I think it's just interesting more than anything. Like I like to know how people view things.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the bloke's name, but someone bought the Twin Towers.
Yes.
Weeks before, like literally like a week before, and took out insurance on them.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
you wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't do that.
9/11, there's too much dodgy shit around it.
Well, you got the Pentagon with all the cameras going off. You've got the third building that went down that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
And that literally, it's crazy.
And
the plane hit, it wouldn't have collapsed the way it collapsed.
And the guy that bought the two towers that claimed insurance was meant to be in a meeting that day at the towers.
Yeah, but he just happened to not go.
I think I've spoken about it before. Something that I'd like to point out. Have you seen? There's a film. I think I mentioned it on the podcast quite a few weeks ago, and I think it's called Flight 73 or something.
I remember you talking about it, but I haven't seen it, I don't think.
Bear with me 1 second. What's it called?
Sorry. My bad.
United 93. So...
I remember you talking about it, but I haven't seen it. Did you watch the 9/11 show that was on the telly?
No, I actually didn't.
It was like a 10-year since it happened sort of thing, and some of the footage you see in that's like horrific. Like there's people that literally throw themselves from the building. You watch them fall all the way.
I know we were shown one in school at some point in like sixth form or something, and it was So, United 93 is a 2006 docudrama thriller film. The film chronicles the events aboard United Airlines Flight 93, which was hijacked during the September 11 attacks of 2001. And basically, it almost shows... I don't know how they've got this information. I'm assuming it's from, like, radio logs and such. But the idea of the film is it's a flight that was actually I believe it's this film. It might actually be a different film that I'm thinking of, but it shows how the crew, some of the crew and the passengers, basically near the end when they were clocking on what was happening and stuff, and like, obviously it was all taking place. They had armed gunmen in the cockpit who were controlling the flight, and armed gunmen watching them and stuff. Basically decided enough was enough. We're not gonna They realised they were heading towards a city, and did everything they could to crash the plane themselves, but in sort of some fields nearby, just to get everything they could to make the plane fail so it wouldn't hit into like buildings or city blocks or anything. Now I haven't seen the entire film. I've seen parts of it. I've seen clips, but it seems like a very powerful movie about it. But
I mean, that's one where my standpoint is strong. So with the whole moon landing, I'm pretty much like you said, 51-49.
Yeah.
Do I think it's hard to believe? Yes. Do I think a lot of things are hard to believe? Yes.
Yeah.
Because humans are, in general, logical creatures,
Yeah.
whereas seeing is very much believing with a lot of cases.
Mm.
But with the whole 9/11 thing, I'd say I'm like 98% sure that was done as an inside job.
I'm sure. And again, even if the whole event was an inside job, and it might be that not every single conspiracy said comes together towards this, but there almost factually is some of these things that were going on did happen in conspiracy terms. It might not have been that it was, it might not be that the building was destroyed from the inside with dynamite. It could be that the plane actually did take down the building, but then at the same time the plane could have been that hijackers could have been paid off by the American government. There's so many different things.
Do you know how I see it in a little way? This is going to sound really stupid.
Okay.
But let's say, right, you've got your cinema.
Yeah.
And you get robbed.
Yeah.
And then you basically ring up, like, an insurance company or whoever. Like, oh yeah, we've been robbed. Do you have CCTV footage? Nah, it went off for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know who it was? Oh yeah, it was the Odeon.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
Oh, and actually, we also the actual guy that robbed us. We know exactly who that is himself. Actually,
He actually sent me a tweet saying "fuck you, tweak."
Yeah.
Don't know if you watch South Park.
He also sends me pictures from his front videos from his front room every week, just seeing how we are basically, and
his real name's actually. I find it really hard, that one.
VNM63, we appreciate the message, by the way. Thank you very much for popping into the stream.
Who was that? I didn't see that message.
It did just pop up for me.
Oh, there you go.
Nice friendly message. Thank you very much for popping in.
But, no, I will say respectfully to anyone who did lose a family member or anything in 9/11, we are in no way saying that it wasn't awful. And, we're in full hopes that whoever died on that day will rest in peace. But...
Yeah, we're not trying to take away at all from how horrific the event was for the general public and the people surrounding it, and not even just people who were directly affected, but people who just are affected by it, because it is a horrific event.
It's awful.
We are when we're talking about this. We're not talking about the average. We're not talking about the average US citizen is doing this for whatever. We're talking about the higher echelons of the American government, and and
it's the same as everything. Everything's so bloody protected.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy Savile's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Protected till the day he dies, and then it all comes on.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
There's a documentary coming out about him soon, isn't there? Another one.
Is.
That looks quite interesting.
Same as that Michael Jackson one that came out, where it's like,
This one, I think this one they're doing, and actually they're making another Michael Jackson one as well, but it's more, they've got psychiatrists and psychologists and stuff, looking at interviews with them and trying to pinpoint actually things they might have said that look mostly like they're lying, things that they said that are truthful. Because I find the Michael Jackson one very interesting. I'm very polarised by the Michael Jackson issues. Whereas I'm not polarised at all, obviously, about the Jimmy Savile issues. That we know.
That's before our time.
Yeah.
We're young boys.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Bad timing.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Like this sounds like a really weird thing to say. There's one person that I was so gutted to hear was a terrible human being that likes to involve themselves around younger children and such. I've actually just forgotten his name. The Australian. Oh my God, what's his name? I'm Jake the Peg. What's his name? Oh my God, what's his name? I'm hurting myself here. He did Animal Hospital, and he did. He was like an Australian comedian from when I was like a kid, and he basically got sent to prison.
What was he in? Animal Hospital?
Yeah, he's Australian. He did the song Jake the Peg. It pretty upsets me that I can't remember his name.
Jake the Peg. Is he ginger?
No, Rolf Harris.
Oh yeah, the one who does. You should have said
yeah,
the
thank you,
wobbly
Morgan.
board man.
Yeah, thank you, Morgan.
Windy.
Like, I was so upset to hear that, like, Rolf Harris was that.
I think it's a very hard thing to accept. Tom is like a massive Michael Jackson fan. Like he loves his music. He grew up like idolizing him. So when stuff like that comes out, I understand that. We'll put Rolf Harris,
Yeah.
but more, it is hard to see someone you look up to's name get dragged through the dirt, and there is a lot of denial behind it where people are like, no, but
Yeah.
he couldn't have done that. He couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Because once you reach the level of fame that these people reach, people believe they can do no wrong.
And I think more than anyone, that's part of the Michael Jackson issue. So like I said, I'm quite polarised by it because I do think there's some valid arguments as to his, let's say, like mental health state and his mental capacity state and such, that they're again, this is something that we could possibly go into on another podcast or something. There's a lot behind it. However, one of the main things you see is from both sides. One of them is the diehard fans that say, no, it absolutely cannot be true because we love Michael Jackson. That doesn't change anything. Whether you love his music, like if you love his music, it doesn't change the fact he could be a horrible human being, and it must be really difficult for people, and especially someone as famous as him. He did change people's lives. Like people who listen to his music, he did change. You know, even when talking to Alfie a couple of weeks ago, and the amount that he explains how Prince's music has changed his life. Michael Jackson has done that literally for hundreds of thousands and millions of people around the world. Like, he was that famous. So I can understand why some people are going to be struggling.
Here's a good question.
Yeah.
So, he's made that good a positive impact on the world.
Yeah.
Do you think, let's say that he's made 100,000 people's lives, do you think that, like, if he was proven 100% to have, like, touched up, like, 10, 12 kids, do you think those 12 people's sacrifice is worth the hundreds and thousands of good he's done?
No.
Nah, nor do I.
Because you can't. No, you can't.
This takes me back to the life insurance thing. You can't put a price on someone's life.
No, you can't.
If I said to you, "Oh, listen, you can either have like $250,000 and Shannon dies, or you can just carry on as you are," unless you're a really like horrible person, 9 times out of 10, you'd like to think people wouldn't pick the money.
Yeah.
But I had a counterpoint to the Michael Jackson thing in Idols, and I've forgotten it now because it's a tangent.
The only other thing I was going to say about Michael Jackson is something that annoys me sometimes is I can understand when people say, I'm not going to listen to this person's music anymore because of what they've done.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. What I hate is when people say, like, oh, because he did this, his music's rubbish. And it's like, well, no, let's be honest. You do kind of have to separate his professional life and that in the way of, like...
I apologise if you can hear Oscar crying.
That's because he's done something terrible doesn't take away from the fact that his music was some of the best at the time. Like, and I'll never understand people that there needs to be some split, some, you know, like,
I'm trying to think of what my point was. It was a good one. I was happy with it. Now I've lost it.
The Michael Jackson one's that's such a massive one, and again, it's hard to say because again, I almost want to not apologise so much, but I do want to say, like, obviously, if I'm completely wrong here, and the 50% of me that's saying actually I think it wasn't as malicious or evil or bad as it seems, I don't want it to then be that actually it was that way, and I'm really taken away from the plight and the horrificness that these people went through. And on the other side, it's almost like if this didn't happen and he was innocent, like a man who actually did, within some terrible stuff he could have done, actually did some incredible stuff in the world, did some very good stuff, for that name to be then completely dirted by what could just be lies, like, or muddied by lies, is...
It could be.
It's a worrying prospect, isn't it, that you just don't know what to believe anymore.
No, but we have no control over it, do we?
No.
Is he still crying? Hold on. I don't think so. See, we spoke about Michael Jackson. He woke up straight away crying.
Oh, yeah.
Strange. But I think it is really difficult to know because, you know, oh God, I'm gonna get myself in trouble for this.
Say it.
We were speaking about money and how money controls people's lives, and it's funny that these things only come up when people have died, and
Yeah.
there's lawsuits with money involved on a name that they don't really own. It's like Bohemian Rhapsody with the lady, I can't think of her name, that Freddie Mercury was like in love with, married.
Yes.
She made loads of money from that film. She wasn't in it. She didn't do anything. But she's made for life because of who she knew.
Yeah, and that film
slapped.
That film did slap. That film also was quite good at, again, we will not know what's fact or not, but it didn't just hold him in a completely high regard and say that he was a perfect man. It showed a dark side to him at times, and it's like, either fair enough, that's done, that is quite impressive, or that's actually a complete lie, it isn't what he was like, and someone's profited off it.
The thing is, I don't know if have you seen the Jim Carrey stuff recently?
No.
So
I know he's doing a lot of activism,
think like he's gone insane.
I know he's doing quite a lot of activist stuff, isn't he?
Well, there's this whole thing about him going insane because he's doing interviews and stuff, and people are saying like, "Oh, how's Jim Carrey?" and like all this rubbish. He did like a fashion week thing, and he was like, "I really don't care about this. I don't know why I'm here. I've just got nothing better to do." And they were like, "But you're Jim Carrey. Like you're supposed to be really nice."
Yeah.
And he said, "Jim Carrey is literally a character you see me play.
Yeah.
That is not me. I am not Jim Carrey."
He's done this for a few years, I think now. Actually, hasn't he? Like that, yeah.
And I feel like it is a massive trap.
I think fame could be horrific.
So do I. I mean, you think of like JJ from the Sidemen.
Yeah.
No one knows him as JJ. If I said, "Oh yeah, I saw JJ the other day," no one would be like, "Oh." You say, "I saw KSI."
Yeah.
Completely different. And that's why I think it's important to separate things. Like Michael Jackson will always be Michael Jackson. That's who he was.
Which is another, actually going back to him again, the podcast that we did with Alfie. I fully respect 100% what Alfie's doing with not showing his face to people and having Prince Alfie compared to his full actual name as two different personas, because if he was to make it big, you do want to try and split those. Like someone that when it comes down to conversations like this, something that I always go to, and someone that I always go to because I love them as an actor, is Shia LaBeouf. Now, he obviously had a horrific time with mental health and stuff, and he basically went insane at one point. He was walking around New York with a bag on his head that said, "I am not Shia LaBeouf." Like, he didn't want to be recognised, but he didn't know how to portray that, you know. And, like, childhood stars is a massive thing, which goes back to Michael Jackson. Like, but fame and money, it seems like it should be the most perfect thing ever. Like, everyone loves you, but it fucks up so many lives of the people that have that fame.
Yeah, like, I was watching a Cristiano Ronaldo interview and he was speaking about it. So he said, "I've only ever gone clubbing once, and that was because me and it was another player snuck out of training.
Yeah.
Like snuck out on one night.
Yeah.
But as soon as that's the thing, he can't do anything.
No.
He couldn't just go to the shops.
I can't imagine, like paparazzi. I cannot imagine constantly having 40, 50 people everywhere you go taking pictures, and literally, like, you know, it doesn't matter what the laws are, they're still taking the pictures of your bare ass naked while you're walking through your house because you've accidentally got half your curtain open.
I really think there should be laws against that. And I know
there are,
but they need to be like strict laws.
Like, it's mad how, like, you know, it sounds really dumb doing things like Twitch streaming and YouTube and stuff. Like, starting it off and wanting to really build onto this. Now, part of it, we'll be fully honest, even though we love doing it, part of it is we'd love to build a brand that we're earning money from doing this, making this our job. 100%. And you know, we're never going to lie about that. I think we've always been open by it, open with it. But what we're also, I think, aware of as seeing this is actually, because it's quite tough to get a middle ground on things like YouTube and Twitch. We're at the point we're at now, and then one day in the future, if it really goes well, we will be at a point where we're really, really well known. And then the
Yeah.
more that I think about it, the more that I'm starting to think like, you know, I still want to hit that point because it'd be amazing. It'd be so incredible to be able to make this our job and stuff. However, there is almost a worry of like, if I make it, does life completely changes? Like,
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is we're not in somewhere like Japan or USA where when you are big, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I
yeah,
love you." Here, like, let's be honest, our audience would mainly be well, I know what my audience is because I look at my demographic and stuff. It's between like 18 and 24.
Britain's quite good, to be fair. That if you're recognised as a celebrity, the worst you're going to get is someone's going to be Snapchatting themselves, going, "Oi, oi, Jack, you're a wanker,"
Yeah,
and like doing a wanker sign down the phone
Yeah.
and then putting it all over Snapchat. That I don't mind. Morgan Pot, I would love it.
well, yeah, we know you would, Morgan, but I think I've had it where I've met like famous people before, and because we're like so British, I was a bit like, I don't really want to bother him.
Yeah.
You get a lot of entitled parents who are like, "Oh, my son wants a picture right now." You're like, "Yeah, I'm in the middle of something." They're like, "No, you owe it to him." You're like, "Yeah, well, no, I don't. Fuck your kid."
I do feel bad for celebrities that you can just see the life drain for them sometimes, and like, people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he was really, really rude. He wasn't happy and smiley the whole time." It's like, yeah, but I couldn't be like that my entire life. Like, life isn't like that, and
No, I don't know if you watched any of the like Too Hype drama. I don't suppose you did.
no.
Basically, someone left their group, put out like I can't think of what the contract's called, like a something in deceased,
Oh, cease and desist.
cease and desist. Yeah,
Something in
Basically.
deceased. Similar.
yeah, it just wasn't coming to me.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he put out a video where he's basically trying to like slander them all, like throw them under the bus. And he was like, I was with one of them, and we were at IHOP, which is like a restaurant in America.
Pancakes.
And he was like, he didn't want to take a picture with a fan. There was this fan, and he could literally take 2 seconds and make his day. And he literally explained like, I've been in a fan meet and greet all day.
Yeah.
I was having my dinner. I still took a picture with him. I just let out a sigh because all I wanted to do was eat my food in peace, and then I would go back and meet people. But I still stopped. I still took a picture with him. Like, I still spoke to them. I still took the time. I'm allowed to not be thrilled to see people 24/7. And I was like, that's such a valid point.
Yeah.
Because if I was at a point and like, the one thing, all right, this is what always baffles me as well. Can you imagine how many emails they get? Because if I get like a YouTube comment, I get an email.
Oh, I've always thought this, like...
Or like if you get a follower on Twitch, you get an email.
Mm.
Can you imagine? Or like Instagram, someone like you get like 1 million likes and your phone would just be like bing 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 bing.
Yeah.
That would really pee me off.
I constantly have everything on silent, and I don't want to hear
Same.
notifications.
I don't even
and
have
whatnot.
vibrate on my phone.
Yeah, like this is something we've spoken about again with things like YouTube as well. Like, and I think Morty spoke about it a bit, and we've spoken about it with him since. But like, where he's blown up, he's gone from having 10 comments on his video to 500-600 within the first day of the video going up, and it's like, I don't want to have to miss being able to like heart react and respond to every comment that we get on. But you get to a point where you just can't do it. And then you get people putting hate things like, I've commented on your last 10 videos and you've not responded to any of them. And it's like, I would genuinely feel bad, but you just can't get to everything.
The thing is, I think, should I get to a stage where Flygon is, I'd probably, stop working and be like, right, I've got something really solid here. I'm going to build this. If it goes wrong, I can find a job. It's fine. Jobs are always around. And I would literally sit there. I know that Nuzlocke took a long time to record, but let's say that I'd probably spend, because his video's normally up for a week.
Yeah.
I'd probably sit down and say, right, I'm spending one day to just read comments and reply to the ones that I feel like need replying to, not ones that are just like good vid.
Yeah.
That just needs like a heart. But like if someone like
takes the time to put a full comment in.
Yeah, like a decent comment.
Yeah.
Because I put a comment on a video and I never comment on videos. This video was like 2 years old, and it was to do with Illustrator and Adobe Animate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I literally commented like, this video was actually really, really helpful. Like, it only had like 60,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is genuinely one of the videos that I feel deserves a lot more credit than it has, because if you now went on your computer, found that video, you'd be like, oh right, sweet, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like so well explained, so simplified, and it's not like I'm going to spend ages on this one thing. So I keep trying to watch like laptop reviews, and oh my god, some of them are so boring.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, so this is the battery life when it's at this temperature, and we've put this stress test. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to see you play COD on it and move on. The kings of waffling have waffled again.
We have.
To the tune of the week.
I was going to say, do you know what your tune of the week is?
No.
I'm going to get my exact one up here. I'm going to leave
my Spotify app.
My exact one isn't exact one. I'm not gonna choose one final bit. You'll see what I mean. My general listen to a lot this week has been a lot of different versions of.
Sorry, I was going to drop a song that I've listened to. But...
Oh god, no! It's remixes of the Dom's not here. Luckily, he can't hear this. It is the Spider Dance song from Undertale, but it's remixed one. You know, Moffat's theme tune. Genuinely, just on Undertale itself, the original theme tune fucking slaps. Let alone some of the remixes are incredible. I've listened to about 4 or 5 different ones, so I'm not going to name a specific one. They all just slap. But any Undertale song, and then any Undertale remix, genuinely everything from that game slaps. Every song and every remix slaps.
So good. Oh, there's so many ambulances going past. It's the 5th set of blue lights I've seen go past.
I've dropped my pen. Do you like my bald head?
Yeah, it's very bold. I'm going to take the boring route and just say name featuring Tori Kelly by Justin Bieber on his new album.
Yeah.
Sorry to be boring.
Sorry, you live with Justin Bieber, to be fair, don't you?
I do. I was going to drop a song by someone that you really don't like. That's why I laughed.
I can already tell. I know exactly who that is, don't you?
Yeah, I'm watering my bonsai plant in case anyone wonders. Hence the water dripping on the floor.
But,
yeah, so I swayed.
Yeah, thank you. I can already tell without you saying anything. I already know exactly who that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that just for the banter, or was that actually genuine you've been listening to?
No, genuinely it's in the playlist.
Why?
At the moment,
like, you really haven't been having a good week, have you?
Scumbag human, innit? Forget Michael Jackson and Jimmy Savile. Look at this kid listening to Lily Allen.
Oh,
name dropped. Lily Allen, if you would like to promote
No, please don't. I don't care. I don't care if you're the only famous person that ever would. I don't care. Don't do it. Your music sucks. You're shit.
Message her and get her wrong.
However, the Streets, if you would like to sponsor the Midnight Club podcast, please do. And I will literally wear a t-shirt that says, like, no, not fuck Lily Allen. That could be taken the wrong way. I hate Lily Allen. That can't be taken the wrong way. Actually, Lily Allen as a person, you probably could be almost.
I know how I'm going to get you back.
You could almost be. I will chop off my own ears. I will genuinely chop off my own ears.
No.
You're going to put some.
I know how to get you back.
You're going to put something in that I press a button in my house that I press every day, and Lily Allen's going to play or something like.
I am going to go on Twitch, make a name called Lily Allen, and I'm going to donate £100 to you.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
No, you're not.
You can have Lily Allen tattooed on your leg.
Just to get rid of the risk, I'm never streaming again. I'm never streaming. I'm taking donations off my thing.
Oh, I'm going to wait until it says LiquixZombie as well. I'll be like,
that's probably something I should mention actually, isn't it? The absolute insane idiot himself, Sam.
We mentioned it last week, didn't we?
Did we?
Did at the start. We were waffling last week.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, because it was literally off the back of that.
Big love again, Sam.
Hero.
You absolute idiot hero. But yeah, Ed, please do not. That would be insane if that's the prank you do. Take in mind, if you did do that, we wouldn't be able to get the tattoo until like early September, because that's when I've already have a tattoo booked in, and my tattoo.
Would you actually get Lily Allen tattooed though, even if I did it?
Donate the money, yeah. I might just have to add my own word to the end of it as well.
No, you're not allowed.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll
tell you what. I'll have the username as Lily Allen as my hero.
No, I was gonna say, if you have it as Lily Allen, I'm gonna donate £100 to myself. The username sucks, and just request that I put the tattoo next to the Lily Allen one. But yeah, I think we need to stop waffling, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Let's call it a day.
Thank you to everyone who's watched episode 14 of the Midnight Club podcast, which is dum.
Somehow we've only missed 1 week.
Yes, and that was down to my fault. That was down to dying man over here. We are obviously still in the process of sorting more guests out. We've mentioned we've got 1 or 2 that we've got for sort of further in the future. We don't want to talk too much about yet, but we have got ones planned for further in the future. We don't actually have a huge amount planned for the next, basically the next couple of months. But we are in contact and talking to people. So we can't guarantee that, let's say next week we will have a guest. We would like to bring a guest to you. But we will try and keep you updated, and we'll let you know. And there will be more guests coming. Do not panic. It won't just be me and Ed for the rest of eternity. There will be more guests. It's just making sure that we get the right people for the podcast. And it's a lot of the time it is just sorting out the dates and time. Well, not the times, but the dates that people can do. Obviously, we're not the nicest of timing for a lot of people.
No, we sort of
just generally being on a Friday/Saturday isn't ideal for a lot of people. So we will be having more guests, but we will try and keep you updated.
I'm gonna hate the podcast if I change job. I'll be like, we're finishing now, and I'll be like, I gotta be up in 6 hours. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna soon start having your problem when I'm back at work, which is I normally will be finishing at like 10:30, 11ish on Fridays. So it's gonna be a sprint home and then get on the potty. But
I can always pick you up.
Yeah, that's. Thank you very much. But it'll be sorted. But yeah, we will be having more guests soon, guys. We just want to make sure we get the right ones on, and not just be like, oh my god, we need someone on. Let's get this random shithead, basically. Massive thank you to everyone that's been watching. We're currently on 6 concurrent viewers. We were up to about 9, I think, at one point, which is really sick to see. As always, the video will be straight up on, well, not straight up, but within like a day it will be up on the channel to watch.
Yes, sir.
To anyone that wasn't able to see the entire thing, anyone that is just watching through YouTube video, thank you very much for sitting through and watching this. And we look forward to seeing you for next week and the next podcast.
Yeah, episode 15. Bang, bang.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? But for now, adios.
Ciao, ciao.